After 7 long hours of travel, we reached the beautiful town of Yaksum. Yaksum lies in the bowl-like valley facing some of the world's most tallest mountains like the Mount Pandim, Mount Kanchenjunga, Mount Kabru, and many more. After a good night's sleep, we woke up early in the morning and left Yaksum. We headed towards the Kanchendzonga National Park. The hike amidst the beautiful houses of Yaksum early in the day was definitely very scenic. The first day of hike was through the dense forest of Kanchendzonga National Park. Initially, the terrain was flat and the elevation was gradual. The cool breeze carried the rustic smell of the woods and made the hike a lot more pleasant and comfortable. But things didn't stay the same for long. After a kilometer or two, the terrain became rocky, a lot narrower, and quite steep. In these narrow paths, we also had to make way for these fully loaded yaks and ponies. They wouldn't care to just push us off the cliff if we came their way. However, the lush green forests, the orchestra of chirping birds, the roaring streams, and premium carpets of mosses draped over humongous trees, all of them made the hike less strenuous and a lot more enjoyable. In the quest of capturing videos of all the intricate and subtle things around me, I was left behind by the group. It was definitely not a big thing. However, I had to follow our guide's instructions, at least on the very first day. So I had to increase my pace. And somehow managed to catch up with the group. Walking for about 9 kilometers straight, we finally reached Sachin, our first campsite. After a good night's rest, we woke up to receive some hot tea and comforting advice from our guide. He told that the hike is same like yesterday with moderate inclination and a bit of uneven terrain. We quickly packed our bags and started our day's journey towards the second campsite. Just like the previous day, the hike started out with flat, gradual uphill climb in between the dense forest. This didn't last long. The climb became a lot more steep, a lot trickier to navigate, and definitely felt never-ending. Short breaks for some coffee and energy bars kept us going. As we gained altitude, the vegetation around us was very oddly comforting. After a long uphill journey, a short downhill trail led us to a hanging bridge across the Rothangchu River. And then the climb continued. But who knew what was ahead for us? It started to rain heavily. The trail got slushy and slippery, making things a lot more challenging. Not just for the body, but mainly for the mind. After climbing for about 5 kilometers and getting drenched, we reached a small shop in Buchan. A hot cup of tea gave us the energy needed, and we resumed our hike towards Tshoka. After an hour of climbing, the rain eased off. Meanwhile, the forest opened up to patches of lush green meadows facing the mountains covered by blankets of clouds. Knowing that Tshoka was just a kilometer ahead, we proceeded towards our campsite without taking any breaks in between. The climb was also gradual, which made things easier for us. After a few minutes of hike, we finally reached our campsite. Tshoka was a paradise by its own. The view from every corner was different in a very interesting way. You might be wondering, what's so special about this place? Well, that's a story for another video.